Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making wings, and this is a recipe that I found in the Pioneer Woman's new cookbook. I believe she called them habanero honey wings, oven baked habanero honey wings. So this is my third time that I made this recipe. The first time I did bake it in the oven as she said to do. To me, it just took really long and they didn't get as crispy as I would have liked them because I always make my wings in the air fryer. So that's what we're doing today. This is my third time now making these. And I've adjusted the recipe a little bit. It calls for a cup of honey. I did stick to the 1 cup of honey. However, she says to use a tablespoon of barbecue sauce and a tablespoon of the hot sauce. I put in way more barbecue sauce and I probably ended up putting about 4 or 5 tablespoons of the hot sauce. I did do the 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, like she said. So I did keep that the same. The first time I made it, we didn't have habaneros on hand, so I used jalapenos. And we agreed we liked the heat level. So the second time I had jalapenos on hand again, and that's again what I have today. Maybe one day I'll try it with the habaneros because I do like hot stuff. So like I mentioned, I did add more of those sauces. And the other reason for that is it did not make enough sauce for 2.5 pounds of wings. I think it was 19 or 20 wings this day. So to me, you needed more of something, whether it be the honey if you like it sweeter. I also did add some chili garlic sauce the second time I made it. And I'm going to do it again today because to me, that was a really good addition. So now we're just going to get started by dicing up these jalapenos. I'm just going to start by cutting the tops off the jalapenos, and then you want to get the seeds on the core out. I have a core. If you don't have one, just cut it in half and take the seeds and the core out like that. I think the original recipe said that you're supposed to slice it into thin strips. I ended up just dicing it up really small because I really wanted it to melt down in the sauce. So once I have both of the jalapenos with the seeds out and the core out, I'm just going to put it in my pan. And that made quite a bit of jalapenos. Those were pretty big. I'm starting on the wing sauce. I'm starting with 3 tablespoons. So any hot sauce, if you just have like the regular, like Louisiana hot or Frank's Red Hot, whatever. And I'm going to start also with 3 tablespoons of the barbecue sauce. And the same thing with the apple cider vinegar. So I put in what I had left, that little bit in that bottle, opened my new bottle, got that in there. And then the addition that I showed you in the beginning that I tried the second time making it and I enjoyed it was that chili garlic sauce. So I put 2 big tablespoons of that. Now I'm adding the honey. I'm going for about a cup. I had a little bit left in this container and then I'm just going to squeeze some in there. To me, it's just a pain to measure honey in a measuring cup and try to get it out. So here I'm just eyeballing it as usual. I'm mixing it up and I'm going to put it on a low heat and let it go for about 20 minutes. See how it's looking. And at that point is when I'm adding the rest because it's starting to cook down. So I did add more barbecue sauce and more of the hot sauce. So now I'm just letting it cook down a little bit longer. I think it went about maybe 50 minutes, maybe an hour until it was nice and cooked down. And then you just take it off the heat and it's time to prepare the wings. Here I just wanted to have my cookie sheet ready before I started cooking them. So I just put some foil on a cookie sheet. I have my wire rack because that's what the wings are going to go on after we dip them in the sauce when they're done cooking, and then they'll go under the broiler. I did add garlic powder in addition to the salt, pepper, and paprika, which the recipe calls for, and I did toss it in some olive oil. So once you have that all done, I just did it to taste until the seasoning looked good to me. Mix it all up and then it's ready to cook, whether you're doing it in the air fryer or the oven, but we're going to do it in the air fryer. So let's start cooking these up. So I have both my air fryers out. I'm going to cook it at 390 degrees for 20 minutes in both air fryers. If the Foodie has a preheat function, I don't know. I've never used it. Sometimes I'll just put the time up a little bit, like 2 or 3 minutes to heat it up. So I have that one set, but I haven't hit start yet. And now this one is going to preheat once I hit start. But again, I have it set at the same temperature. This is my newest air fryer, the one I unboxed for you guys. I haven't even showed you guys anything in it yet. I have made wings in it before. I love this air fryer. However, I do think my foodie cooks wings better. So it's not bad and it cooks everything else really good. But my preference for wings is definitely the Ninja Foodie. However, I love this basket better. It's more accessible. It's easier to work with for everything. So that being said, we're going to get the wings in same time, same temp, and they are both going to cook. So we're going to get started on getting the wings in there. So I have 19 wings total. I put 8 of the bigger ones here in the foodie, and the other 11 went in the other air fryer. I forgot to show you those before I started cooking, but I will show you at the halfway point. The Gourmet air fryer does have a turn reminder, so at the halfway point, if you do have that function set, it'll beep for you. You can see I pulled that out. There was still about 11 seconds left. Now, if I didn't mention in the beginning, I didn't spray either of the baskets for this recipe. And the reason for that is because I had tossed the wings in all that olive oil. So you can see here, they're turning really easily. They're not sticking. So I'm just going to continue flipping them, put them in for the remaining 10 minutes, and they're going to be done. So now that we're at the 9-minute mark here, because I was flipping the other ones, I'm just going to open the lid. I'm going to do the same thing. You're not going to be able to really see in this lighting, but in person, they are much more crispy in the foodie. That's the only difference between these two air fryers. I like how both cook everything else. But I wanted to make a big batch of wings, and it's really nice and convenient to have 2 air fryers. So that's a good thing because we make wings so often, and I was always doing it in batches. So now I can cook them all at one time. So 10 more minutes, and we're going to be good to go. Here's my cookie sheet that I've lined with foil, put a wire rack on top. Once I get those wings out, I'm going to toss them in the sauce, put them on here, and they're going to go under the broiler for a few minutes. Now, this is what you would use if you were doing the original recipe, and it's what I did the first time. You would toss your wings in the salt, pepper, and paprika. You'd put them on here, 450 degrees, 25 minutes, flip, 20 more minutes, then take them out, toss them in the sauce, and put them back under the broiler. So now it's been 20 minutes for both air fryers. So there is that batch. They look good. And here is how they look in the foodie. So 20 minutes at 390. Perfect. So we're just going to get them out, put them in the sauce, and get them on that rack and put them in the oven under the broiler for a few minutes. So now I'm just getting the sauce on there. You can see the sauce really does cook down a lot. So for this amount of wings, you have to add a little bit more of something, I think. I added more barbecue sauce, more hot sauce. You could always add more honey if you like a sweeter wing. But for this amount of wings, you need more than what the original recipe said. That's how they looked before they went under the broiler. And here's how they looked after they came out. I left them in maybe 3 or 4 minutes. You know, broiling, you just really have to keep your eye on it. That's not the whole pan because I had already made up my plate. So now I'm going to show you that. And there's my plate. I just served it up with some frozen French fries. I had thrown together a coleslaw earlier in the day. And there's my yummy wings. This is such a good recipe, you guys. I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love to have you around. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.